All right, time for headlines. In Boston, an investigation is underway in the brutal encounter between a male transit officer and a female passenger. The incident in question was caught on tape and shows the officer repeatedly striking the woman with a baton while a bus full of frightened passengers looked on. The female passenger was stopped and questioned for an alleged theft, but the encounter escalated to the point where the officer pulled out his gun and aimed it not only at the woman, but at the other passengers who could be heard trying to de-escalate the situation. That officer is now on administrative duty and a probe is ongoing. Protesters took to the streets on Sunday to condemn the beating of an autistic teen at the hands of Metro Transit Police in St. Paul, Minnesota. The victim, 17-year-old Marcus Abrams, was beaten so badly that it caused multiple seizures. Abrams' mother, Maria Caldwell, called for better training after her son's incident.
Trained with how to deal with the autistic, not just the autistic, but the disabled, period.
The protesters took over the local light rail system and flooded social media with the hashtag #BlackRail. Folks, a settlement has been reached in the 2011 hazing death of the Florida A&M University drum major Robert Champion. Champion's family has agreed to accept $1.1 million and an apology from the university. Along with the settlement, the university will honor Champion by naming the marching band's anti-hazing program after him. There will also be a commemorative plaque placed in his memory. A settlement, of course, and first of all, now remember in this particular case here, Robert Champion was a drum major and he was actually beaten on the bus. Several band members have actually gone to prison as a result of that particular case. The FAMU band, they were also disbanded or suspended for a year, but they're now back on the field. Folks, Sunday night, Viola Davis was celebrated for being the first black woman to win an Emmy for Best Lead Actress in a Drama Series in the awards show's 67-year history. Well, there was one veteran soap actress, Nancy Lee Grahn, who was not particularly happy with Viola's speech. First of all, let's play the speech for folks who may not recall what took place. And so you might remember in the speech, Viola Davis was shocked when her name was called for winning Best Actress for How to Get Away with Murder. And so when she was coming up to the stage, she of course greeted Taraji Henson, who was also nominated for the speech as well. Folks, do we have the speech? Are we queuing it up? Okay, all right then. So I'll find it on my iPad then. But so here's what happened. After she gives this speech, Nancy Lee Grahn decides to send out some tweets saying this: "I wish I loved Viola Davis's speech." She also said, "But I thought she should have let Shonda Rhimes write it." Wow. Okay. That was pretty interesting. Then she also said, and I heard Harriet Tubman, and I thought that it's the effing Emmys, for God's sake. She wasn't digging through a tunnel.
No, she did.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she did.
Yes, she did. Then she, of course, also went on to say, "I'm an effing actress for 40 years. None of us get respect or opportunity we deserve. Emmy's not venue for racial opportunity. All women belittled." And then, of course, when she got blasted by various people, she then said, "The meanness of these people tonight, I feel betrayed by people I would have marched for." Yes, she did. Then she also tweeted, "Harriet Tubman, not equivalent to great roles Viola Davis hired to play. She's made millions. It's unfair comparison." All right, let's go to our panel. And I'm sure super black man Cleo Monago has something to say.
White folks. Sometimes they just can't handle when somebody black finally gets some play and they have to undermine it and make it seem like it's something that was racial as opposed to her being a talented individual, which she really is. She's an extremely talented actress and she should have got some of this kind of play a long time ago. So, but I don't know about the super black stuff. It's kind of super logical.
You know you're super black. Don't even try it.
Let's be clear. Let's ask ourselves, who is Nancy Grahn?
Yeah.
Who is Nancy Grahn?
You have a picture of her?
She's on General Hospital.
Oh, okay.
Nobody knew who she was before this. She was trying to get a moment for herself, riding on somebody else's coattails with all her negativity, thinking that was going to pop off. Has she not seen Twitter? Has she not seen what Black Twitter can do to your career?
Well, but here's what's also amazing. Anybody who actually heard what Viola Davis had to say can understand that she was speaking truth to power. Folks, pull up my iPad, please. Thank you very much.
And the Emmy goes to Viola Davis. How to Get Away with Murder.
Now, folks, no, stay with the video, please. So here's the deal. So Viola's about to come up there, and then you're going to hear her speak to the issue, okay? And so what's amazing is, she laid out exactly, what the deal was and what took place. And what I don't understand is when she steps up there and she talks about, she said, look, we can't win unless we don't have the opportunities. I'm sorry, that's just truth.
Yeah. With Nancy Grahn, I think that's her name, right? Look, two issues. One is, by now, people should know that they need to think through their tweets. You know, there was an award show incident with Chelsea Handler a year or two ago where she said something unfortunate, Roland. People need to understand that Twitter is a public space, so it's not a place to workshop your ideas. Yeah.
Nancy Grahn, how old is she? 50, 60, 70?
I don't
She's
know.
not a brand new person.
Yeah.
People know about Twitter. Y'all keep talking about these people's racist behavior as if there's some kind of logical, rational preparation behind it. And it's an impulsive reaction based on what they're sitting with, which is disrespect and racism and entitlement consciousness and resenting that this woman is getting this kind of praise.
But I don't even understand how she can make that sense, because look at 67 years. 67 years this category has been there, and not one black woman has ever won. 67 years.
And what's amazing is, of course, we forget when Patricia Arquette got her Oscar, and she also stepped in it when she also raised this whole issue about the issue of gender equality. And she said the truth is, even though we sort of feel like we have equal rights in America, right under the surface there are huge issues that are applied that really do affect women. And it's time for all the women in America and all the men that love women and all the gay people and all the people of color that we've all fought for to fight for us now.
Because white women have it so
hard. It's so hard.
They're making 77 cents on the dollar while the rest of us are making 50-something.
And in fact, and for black women, actually, it's gone down some 4 cents over the last several years. And for the folks who missed it, again, I want to play it. Here it is. Viola speaking truth.
In my mind, I see a line. And over that line, I see green fields and lovely flowers and beautiful white women with their arms stretched out to me over that line. But I can't seem to get there no how. I can't seem to get over that line. That was Harriet Tubman in the 1800s. And let me tell you something. The only thing that separates women of color from anyone else is opportunity. You cannot win an Emmy for roles that are simply not there. So here's to all the writers, the awesome people that are Ben Sherwood, Paul Lee, Peter Nowak, Shonda Rhimes, people who have redefined what it means to be beautiful, to be sexy, to be a leading woman, to be black. And to the Taraji P. Hensons, the Kerry Washingtons, the Halle Berrys, the Nicole Beharies, the Megan Goods, to Gabrielle Union, thank you for taking us over that line. Thank you for the Television Academy. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this thing back.
Writers, the awesome people that are Ben Sherwood.
Back to the panel. All right, here's the deal, guys. If y'all saw that audience, did y'all see Minnie Viola sitting in that audience? That's what was a trip that I don't think Nancy or many other folks get. That's virtually an all-white room. Chris Rock said in the Hollywood Reporter last year, he said, look, Hollywood is white Hollywood.
Right. It is a sea of salt with sprinkles of pepper. That's what that audience looked like. When they panned out, and you're seeing there, and you're saying, what the hell did Nancy Grant say? What was she looking at? What was she watching? Because it wasn't the BET Awards. Like, that's not what she was looking at. So it was just, her statement was outrageous. It was out of place. It was a racist.
But this also reminds me of this nonsense with All Lives Matter. That the one time all of a sudden when black folks say something that affirms blackness, all of a sudden it's like, no. We all got the same problem. So Patricia Arquette, you know, y'all need to march for us. Nancy Lee Grant, we all have it tough too. When it's like, baby, you don't want to walk in Viola's shoes.
And by the way, Nancy Grant doesn't have to agree with Viola Davis's speech, but what she should recognize is that it's Viola Davis's moment to say what she wants to say.
So Nancy, shut the hell up, because guess what? You ain't won the Emmy.
But Nancy ain't gonna shut the hell up. Nancy resents black people getting the kind of praise and support that Viola got. It's a knee-jerk reaction. It's a racist impulse that happens that we need to acknowledge instead of trying to do these rational deductions of racism.
Well, sometimes you gotta call folks out for being stuck on stupid.
I agree with that.
Coming up next, we're gonna talk about the issue of black women in technology and STEM. Celebrity chef G. Garvin, he is one of the folks who is ready to help make that possible. Also, how to make money off of technology. We will talk with Mario Armstrong and casting director Robbie Reed. She recently hosted her annual Sunshine Beyond Summer event, and we're going to show you some of that as well. News 1 Now, TV 1.